Hi there. Today I have, for a quick review, the Scandinavian forest axe made by Wetterlings. And it's a lovely axe. I'm really looking forward to getting to know this axe. It's a classic axe, and it's used by a lot of forestry workers for felling and limbing trees. And it's extremely ergonomic. It works for everybody. Everybody except, according to the website, extra large people. If you're kind of a bigger person, tall, broad, you might want to go with the American felling axe. So, let's get started on it. We got the typical, beautiful hickory handle. You can see the grain here. I selected a grain that was quite dense, not running parallel with the cutting, the cutting plane of the axe, but whatever. We'll see if it works. We have the typical little pamphlet on here, which I'm going to just cut off finally so I can bond with my axe here. In the pamphlet you get the typical Wetterling stuff. Just some, this is all in English, which is nice. How to use your axe properly. It's got some really nice, useful tips in it, really. Some of this stuff here, when you're splitting, using a splitting maul, and ergonomics. And then just some really nice pictures. You get kind of a family feel with this. Sharpening your axe, how to sharpen it properly. You can see here, this has been sharpened way too sharp. I've done that before, it doesn't work. And just some really neat forging pictures. Alright, well, let's get on to this. So we'll take it out. You can see the profile of the blade is kind of square. It's not, it's a cross between square like a carpenter's axe and, really, really round like I've found in a lot of the Hultafors. I've sharpened this up on my, my Tormek, another Swedish sharpening system. So it's kind of razor sharp. I really am looking forward to using this axe. You can see here a little bit of swell here at the end where they haven't cut it off. Transition over here, we can see the usual wedge here on angle. And profile wise, when you look down this I picked out of about 10 axes because sometimes this edge will deviate left or right. This was the straightest that I could get. Now I realize this is a handmade axe and they're all unique, which makes them really cool. And your body compensates for if that edge is off a little bit, but that's what I looked for. I'll give you some specs on it here. It's 1.4 kilograms. It's a total of 26 inches long, and the face is approximately 3¼ But let's take a look. I'll go 3 3/8 on this. So it's kind of like under spec here. 6½ long. Depth wise, I think we're looking at about a cool 1.5 inches, 1¾ No, I'd go 1.5 on this. It's tough to see here when I'm doing it with the camera. Overall, I want to just say this is not a big axe, it's not a small axe. It's really, it's like that difference between, like a hatchet and a bushcraft axe, in that this is, it's not a full-on felling axe, which it can be used very easily, but it's in between. This is probably one of those axes that you'll use the most. It's fairly light. I could see carrying this, not for long distances, but definitely if you were walking down to a campsite or something like that. Ergonomically, the way it sits here, that's about, straight up and down here. So you can see here that this edge is touching the board, whereas this is left to curve out. And then we have some nice, very gentle, beautiful French curves in the handle, just to get, obviously it changes the ergonomics, but you can choke up in different positions, and what that does is you can grab here, you can grab here, and then when you get up into here, it's not bad. It didn't come that sharp. It was mediocre compared to how I like my axes. you can see here that my hand isn't really hitting on this edge too much. And I've talked about it in my other videos, where when you choke up and you're really kind of working something, that you can kind of ding your knuckles up. I don't get that feeling here. Initially, out of the box, choked up, this is great. Now, of course, when you choke up, you got this big handle that's kind of in the way, but you could make do in a survival type situation. I'm looking forward to using this. It's got the typical Wetterlings sheath that I think a lot of us have come to really love. Just flips in here. I always insert this edge first, go like that, snap it on. Anyhow, that is the new, well, not the new, my new Scandinavian forest axe number 121. I hope you enjoyed this quick review, and we'll get some more footage of it later. Thanks for watching.